It's going to feel that way today as we will not get out of the 50s. Although, listen, it's not all that bad. Just think back to when it was 20. Or wasn't it that
true.
day, that spell in April? Remember that when we went down into the sub-zero temperatures?
Yeah.
It'll be 58 today. It'll get a little warmer tomorrow and quite pleasant and 70 on Friday, and then the gradual warm-up will continue.
If this was February, March, you would say, forecast today, 58 sunny, get out by your pool.
You're right. It's all about your frame of mind.
It is.
I really believe it is, because what happens is in March, when it's been really cold, it turns to 40 degrees, and you're like, wow.
Yeah.
Shorts on, it was beautiful out there. Mm-hmm. But wait till like August or September when we get one of those cold days after really hot weather, kind of like this.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it feels really cold.
Memorial Day was 90. So
crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, lots to do today. Chubby Checker tickets to give away. He'll be at the Turning Stone Resort and Casino later in the month. The big New York Craft Brew event happens on Saturday over at the brewery. We have tickets for that, and we have a free money giveaway, $100, $200, or $300 in cash to give away. All right. So the big am I hearing noise coming from somewhere?
There is, and I'm not sure where that is coming from.
Is
wait, the TV.
Is
maybe?
it the TV? It is up because it's. Oh, it is because it's delayed.
It's you, Bill. Quit talking.
Listen, I'm hearing myself. The Trump primary yesterday, big day.
Trump primary.
The Trump primary. He did win California and all of that stuff. But while Trump should have been able to really pounce on Hillary Clinton, he was being pounced on by his own party. Mm-hmm. This was, it is. New York Post says it best. He's doing an awesome job if he's trying to lose, because that's just it. Why, when he should be fighting with Democrats, is he fighting with Republicans? It's terrible. And on the other side, Hillary Clinton with a surprise big victory in California. She's up by like 13, 14 points right now. She has been declared the winner. That comes as a bit of surprise. Polls had that very, 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 very close. Mm-hmm. She ends up winning, 3 or 4 states, New Jersey and California. She is the Democratic nominee. That all depends on whether or not she's going to be indicted. Can you still believe, though, that at this time that's still lingering out there, the possible indictment? Probably won't happen, but it's still lingering. Coming up, we'll talk to Tanya Powers on the Trump judge comments, and he really tried to tone it back yesterday, really tried to back it up and repackage it by saying, my words were misconstrued. I'm not sure how you can say that. Did you feel like the words were? It probably was the media's fault, taking the comments out of context.
No, I guess.
Yeah, it was. Come on, we took it out of context.
Everything is the media's fault.
I don't know if this is going to make sense. I'll say I feel better that he is trying to back away from those comments, that he's not sticking to them. But
Lindsey Graham doesn't. Lindsey Graham yesterday said, I am pulling my endorsement of Donald Trump. I will not vote for him. When asked, does that mean you're going to vote for Hillary? He said, I will write in someone, but I won't be voting for Donald Trump. Thought that was kind of interesting. And others did the same, while people like Paul Ryan, he's in a tough position. That's the problem. Trump is putting them in a very difficult position. They finally come to the point where they're like, yes, we're going to support Donald Trump. We're bringing the party together. We're going to save the party. We're going to save the presidency. Who knows? All the way down and keep our majority in Congress. And they're forced to say what Donald Trump said was racist, but I will still support him. That's a tough thing for a politician to have to say.
it is.
For anyone to have to say.
And for anybody to have to say, and it's being caused by Trump. Now, there might be a good sign if you're a Trump lover, or maybe it's not a good sign, but last night's victory speech in California was done using the teleprompter, and it seemed odd listening to him. It really did seem odd listening to him read.
It was awkward.
It
sounded
was
out,
awkward.
Donald.
It sounded like Donald Trump reading.
Yeah.
And it was quite, but you know what? At least somebody's gotten into him and said, listen, enough is enough. You got to do this. You got to be a politician.
Some might believe that this whole conspiracy of Donald Trump being in there to help Hillary is unfolding. I mean, think about it. As she's on the heels of, securing the nomination.
He's making crazy comments.
He's making the crazy comments.
He is, but I believe it was the Fox News update at 6 o'clock here, was that he was saying, I can't believe it. Nobody can believe it. They don't understand it, how she's not been indicted. So he is still lobbing, throwing flames at her.
But I got to tell you, if you're going to be believable, you gotta throw out the bombs that are going to hurt a little bit. Not to say that I'm completely in agreement with Andrew that this is all a big.
I'm just saying
sham.
those who believed it,
right?
are staying.
I'm saying,
See, I told you.
You can still, if you're a believer in that, you can at least have your head up there and say, "Listen, it's possible," right?
Right.
I don't think anybody could say it's impossible.
Well, and
That's
there's a
crazy.
book coming out that is supposed to shed light on all of the things that happened allegedly at the Clinton Foundation that is supposed to be a big shot in the arm for Donald Trump. And I think he's expected to talk on Monday.
He was really going after some of that stuff yesterday, making some wild accusations. And listen, just like Trump, things are said, he says stuff, things are said, he says stuff, it never sticks. Same thing with Hillary Clinton. She has her supporters, and no matter what happens, they're still going to be there. They're going to be there with her. The question is, what will happen with those Bernie Sanders voters? Are they going to come over to the Hillary camp? Are they going to go to the Trump camp? Or are they just going to
Go home and not vote?
Yeah, that's the big question there. How about the punch heard round the baseball world? Did you see this?
No.
It was the Orioles batter
did
charged
see-
the mound, and normally when this stuff happens, the pitcher knows enough to kind of crouch down. You know, hockey has its thing. You put the jersey over the head and all of that. But baseball, it's the pitcher just knows he's coming at you. He's going to take a swing. So you got to handle it in a somewhat defensive state, or you got to go all out offense. This pitcher landed a right hook, or this batter landed a right hook on the pitcher, and he landed him square in the face. It was a punch.
Manny Machado, I think it was, from the Baltimore Orioles. I saw that floating around on Facebook. I didn't think it happened last night, though. So they must have put it up right after it happened.
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was yesterday. Maybe it was an afternoon game. Probably not. Cincinnati Zoo opened yesterday. The gorilla exhibit opened. There's a taller wall there to prevent people from apparently getting in. And what about that?
Were there protests?
Yeah, well, there are people that are I don't know. They're the GoFundMe pages and all of the gorilla never should have been shot. Well, it should never have been shot. It should never have had to have happened.
Right.
But it did. It did, and what are you going to do? Talking about some sadness, a terrible story out of Rome today. From yesterday, a child, and Christine had the story top of the hour, a child died after being left in a car. The father is responsible, it seems, at this point. And while it is an accident, it must be a horrific feeling for not only the family, but for this father, who, by the way, is a Rome police officer.
I've read the story several times, and it's difficult to get through each and every time because it's just a tragedy all the way around.
Terrible. We'll talk more about it. As tough as it is, we'll get into it coming up. Quick break. I want to come right back with Tanya Powers on the Trump comments, the judge comments, the maybe teleprompter comments last night where he seemed to be somewhat under control. The wild horse has been tamed. Maybe they can put a saddle on him after all. I don't know. Tanya Powers coming up next to WIBX.